Back at home, we also talk about moonshots, early-stage companies without near-term expectations for profitability, but some big dreams. Claudio Rojas knows something about that. He's been investing in them for a very long time, and he's the CEO of the National Angel Capital Organization and leads more than 4,000 angel investors that have invested more than $1 billion into new companies. Just had a big event surrounding that, and he joins us here in studio. Nice to see you.
John, great to be here.
So this idea of the moonshot, I mean, what is a moonshot business in Canada in 2023?
So a moonshot company is a company that's in the earlier stages that's on track to become the world leading, the world dominating company of the future.
And the idea obviously is a big one, but it has to be rooted in some real opportunity, I imagine. I mean, what's that like? What's the passion like right now? And what's the financial opportunity here?
So Canada is blessed to have extraordinary founders across the country that have expertise in a wide variety of areas, whether it's cybercrime, cybersecurity, to lithium extraction, to artificial intelligence. And so these founders with grit and tenacity are building companies that could become the moonshot companies, the unicorn companies of the future. And a unicorn company is a company that grows to a valuation of $1 billion or more. So in terms of the investment opportunity, if you invest in a company that's worth $10 million today, and they grow to become a unicorn company worth $1 billion 5 years from now, you've generated a significant return. That is a 100x return.
And in your industry, though, you have to be prepared for just a few of those names to become the reality, I suppose.
Absolutely. Just like the public markets, you want to diversify across a broad range of companies within the asset class. But every investor that's listening to this show should have some exposure to the Canadian innovation economy. And it would be an exposure from 5 to 7%. And that would follow broad diversification, portfolio diversification principles.
What's interesting, especially at a time when people talk about technology and AI, it is a reminder that innovation doesn't have to be tied to a new industry per se, right? It seems like a lot of the folks who are looking to shake things up or have noticed things within existing industries.
That's right. And so things like ChatGPT, artificial intelligence, even blockchain will cut across all companies, established and emerging. And it's also creating new opportunities for world-changing companies of the future to lift off of. And so these are platform technologies that will change the future of every industry.
So for a business that is started here in Canada, for years we've talked about what kind of an environment it is to launch a business in this country, and it seems like a lot has changed with venture capital. There's a lot more capital out there. There's certainly a lot more awareness. What still has to happen to help those ideas to grow and grow and grow the same way that there's the legend that is Silicon Valley?
So we're building a future where there will be the legend that is Canada. And Canada is well positioned to be the world's leading innovation economy, but we have to plan ahead. And so we have all the ingredients to emerge as the world's leading innovation economy. We have great founders, great research institutions. We have these extraordinary resilient banks. We have large pension funds, but we're a risk-averse culture. And so we need to move away from risk aversion to making big bets on our homegrown Canadian companies. And we need to be long-term oriented. And so the companies that we invest in today, it might take 10, 15 years to see a return, but you'll see an extraordinary return. It will diversify your portfolio, and you'll be helping Canada to emerge in this really powerful way. And it's important that Canada leads in so many areas that will be critical to the future of our children and our grandchildren.
You talked about everyone should consider being an angel investor in let's say, a diversified investment portfolio. What's that like? How do you go about becoming an angel investor?
Get involved with NACO Canada. We have a ton of free resources, available to all your viewers on how to situate it around the innovation economy. So on the NACOcanada.com website, there are over 100 members. We're an umbrella organization of venture funds, angel groups, and the extraordinary incubators and accelerators around the country.
And what about for the company founders themselves? If they've got this idea and they know they've got the skills to get it on at least some kind of track, how do they go about figuring out the money issue?
Right, so they reach out to us. We connect them into our extraordinary members around the country. We have more than 100 organizations in every community, and the supports that are available to them include mentorship, how to build your business, how to build a cap table, how to prepare your company for due diligence. And then, like you experienced at Moonshots, John, you were there. There was capital in the room, there were entrepreneurs in the room, and we were bridging those connections so that the best investors could meet with the best founders, and they can support each other in building and investing in the world-changing technologies of the future.
We do, at least in the public markets, have a couple of examples of companies that started as an idea and became global players like Shopify, which we talk about today. I mean, is there anything about the Shopify example that sits with you or sticks with you on what they were able to do to take that big idea and actually make it one of these companies we talk about every day on television?
Shopify began around in a similar environment to what we currently are, where it was a turbulent economic environment, but there's never a bad time to invest in a great company, as Warren Buffett likes to say. And Toby started as an entrepreneur with a snowboard shop. He learned, he adapted, he pivoted, and then he built this world-changing technology. And so those companies are being founded now in this current economic environment, and it is a great time to be an investor.
Okay, we'll be watching closely. Claudio, thanks very much for your time. Claudio Rojas, the CEO of the National Angel Capital Organization, joining us. We also want to give you a live look now in New York.